the mythical, the elusive, vegan muscle. How do you get it? Well, I've been lifting for quite a long time, and of that time, I've been vegan for about 6 years, and I have picked up quite a few pieces of advice and experience through my bodybuilding as a vegan, and today I'm going to be giving you the top 10 tips, secrets, hacks you have to know to make that muscle happen as quickly as possible and just skip all of the waste of time so you can take a shortcut straight to Gainesville. Now we're about to get into this. You know I'm taking it seriously because the backlights are green in honor of veganism. Before we jump into the 10 list, I want to let you guys know that for a limited time, I'm doing a case study for my vegan coaching program called Vegan Battle Plan 2.0 for a heavy discounted rate. I'm only taking a couple people. So if you're interested in achieving the best physique that you have ever had, send me a DM over on Instagram. You can send me the word tofu and we can talk back and forth about the details about whether or not my coaching program is right for you. Now, let's jump into this 10 list. Let's start with number 1, and that is start to use a 50-50 mix of chickpea or bean pasta with your normal pasta. Pasta is a great way to get a bunch of carbs in, a bunch of proteins. It's pretty low fat too, depending on how you make your pasta. And if you replace half of that wheat pasta with chickpea or black bean or edamame pasta, whatever it is, those bean pastas have a ton of protein and it's just gonna boost it a ton. So you're gonna have a really, really high protein pasta, but it basically just tastes exactly the same as normal pasta. Okay, my second tip, this is definitely for when you are dieting and you're really hungry, but you wanna eat something that has a lot of volume so you can get a lot of bites in. Make giant veggie broth soups with loads of vegetables. It's a low calorie meal that allows you to eat for a long time, especially if you get a good broth like ramen or pho broth. Just fill it up with mushrooms, carrots, bok choy, broccoli, mung bean sprouts, any of that kind of stuff. You're gonna be able to eat a giant bowl and it's only gonna be a couple hundred calories and it's really, really tasty. Helps a lot with the cravings when you are dieting. Number 3, use creatine. Enough said. Okay, if you haven't heard me talk about creatine before, it's a whole video. I could go over all the details and stuff, but creatine just helps you get a couple extra reps in your sets. It's safe, it's vegan most of the time, but if you do want a specific vegan brand, you can use my link for Viva Life. They have a creatine there, but it's super, super cheap and it definitely adds to your performance. It's something I've used for a really long time safely. It's freaking awesome. Okay, number 4, this one's not so much fitness, but bear with me on this one. When you go to a restaurant or fast food place, tell them that you are deathly allergic to dairy or meat or whatever it is that you're telling them to leave off of your meal, right? So if you're ordering like the tacos or something like that and they have some cheese, tell them that you cannot have the cheese because you are super allergic. They will take this more seriously than if you just say that you're vegan or you don't want the cheese. They might just forget in your bean and cheese burrito that you don't want the cheese. You get home and then you got a bean and cheese burrito. Just say, I'm really allergic. And generally, they will nail it because they don't want to get sued. Number 5, this one is super helpful. Get used to and use nutritional yeast. It's got 8 grams of protein per 2 tablespoons. If you haven't heard of nutritional yeast yet, it's just basically a dry, kind of like flaky powder, and it has a bit of a cheesy flavor to it. So a lot of people will use it in place of, like Parmesan or like cheese in a soup or something like that. But when you just put this on things, you can add a huge boost of protein. For example, in my soups and my stews, I always add about a cup to 2 cups. That's 40 to 80 grams of protein extra. I even put it on my bagels, and that's an extra, 8 grams of protein. It's just a really easy thing that kind of just disappears into whatever you're eating, like your pasta, but adds a ton of protein. Okay, next up, people definitely underestimate micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, all that kind of stuff, but it takes a huge part in your hormone production. So if you are deficient in anything, you are not going to have your optimum natural testosterone level, which is going to make you not have gains as much. So the next tip is use Chronometer once every month and track a whole day so that you can see if you're missing any nutrients. This will help you see where you're hitting with your carbs, proteins, and fats, but even more importantly, you'll see if you're missing any vitamins or minerals, and oftentimes vegans are deficient in things like iodine, B12, omega-3, magnesium, zinc. That stuff really takes a huge part in your hormone production, and you need to make sure that you're having it so you can see right on screen where you're at, and then you can address it with your diet from that point on. The next tip kind of goes along with that one, but eat 1 Brazil nut a day. This gives you your daily requirement for selenium, and this is another one that not even just vegans, but a lot of people are deficient in because they're just not eating anything that has selenium in it. Just get a bag of Brazil nuts and just once a day eat 1. That's it. Make sure you got your selenium. Easy. All right, number 8. This is for tofu lovers and for people who do not really like tofu that much. Freeze your tofu and then thaw it and then do whatever you want to do with it. When you freeze it, the water inside of the tofu freezes and expands the tofu and creates a lot of little air pockets within the tofu. And then when you thaw it out, that tofu has now gotten this new texture. It's a lot more, I would say, like nuggety. It's got a better like bite to it. So it's not just this squishy sponge. It has this more like, like kind of like a nugget kind of a texture to it. So you throw that in your soups or you turn that into a stir fry and you cook it in some sauce. It just makes it taste way better. And for a lot of people, that's what they're missing when it comes to not liking tofu. Number 9, this is really helpful for when you are traveling. Use Happy Cow, either the website or the app, to find vegan or vegan friendly places in town. A lot of times when you're traveling, especially for me when I'm doing road trips, I'm basically just looking for like the staples, right? Taco Bell, Carl's Jr. with the Impossible Burger, and now maybe KFC. Probably not. But you see what I'm saying? You kind of just gotta settle with whatever you got. But Happy Cow is cool because it has all of the completely vegan restaurants, but also all the restaurants that just have a vegan option or two. And it'll show you all that stuff. That way you can actually eat stuff that's not only delicious, but probably a little bit more macro friendly whenever you're traveling. Okay, number 10, you're not gonna get around cooking. Whether you're vegan or not, you are not gonna make as much optimal gains if you are always depending on eating pre-made food or getting food from a restaurant. So, learn how to make a soup either by simmering it on a stovetop or using a pressure cooker or a slow cooker and make a big ass batch of the soup. That way you can store it in your fridge and you can eat it throughout the entire week. If you're following me on Instagram, you've probably seen me post the broccoli soup or the Southwestern bean soup lately. These are so tasty. They have a freaking huge amount of protein. The broccoli soup, I think it has like 32 grams per bowl of protein in it. And you only have to make it that one time. It's also extremely easy because you just do it all in one giant pot. You leave it there for 20 minutes, but then for the rest of the week, whenever you're hungry and you don't have time to make something, boom, pour it into a bowl, microwave it, get some bread and dip it into it, boom. You got a really, really good meal. And a bonus one, just for the hell of it, vegan snacks. Figure out which snacks that you really like. You can aim for the ones that are like high protein and low fat, or you can just choose a bunch of vegan snacks, but get a bunch of snacks, put them in your bag. It makes your life a lot easier so you don't have to compromise. Some snacks that I really like are vegan jerky, like Louisville has really good jerky. Also like Taiwanese shops usually have a really good vegan jerky made out of soy. Nut seeds, obviously. Protein power balls are really good. I have a couple of recipes on this in my channel here, but you can basically just do 1 cup cashews, 1 cup dates, 1 scoop of protein, blend it up, and then just roll those into balls and put them in the refrigerator. Freaking bomb. Seaweed crisps, edamame beans, roasted chickpeas, all those things have high amount of proteins. You can take them with you. I feel like people just don't really know vegan snacks very well. Just take a little time to research a little bit, figure out the ones you like, and it's gonna make your life definitely a lot easier. So there you have it, you sexy people. No full day eating this week. My life's been pretty busy here. A little update. Finally, after 4 escrows that all have fallen apart, my parents have finally found a house here in Arizona, and we are closing and going through escrow on it right now, and I do really think that this is gonna be the one. We are very close to finishing converting the van, and so it looks like we will be doing our van life starting in mid to late April. It looks like possibly, maybe a little bit after that, but that's why things have been a little bit different on the channel lately. So you can look forward to a new meal prep possibly next weekend, because I've been working on that for a while. A full day of eating probably after that, and in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, we will be in the van doing all sorts of super exciting stuff. But I did want to get a piece of content up for you guys this weekend because I thought this would be really helpful. So I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, give it the big old thumbs up. Let me know what tips you would add to this if you were to make a part 2 in the comments below. Seriously, do it. Add 1 tip right now. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I love you guys. You are very sexy. You're beautiful. And I'll see you in the very next video. Peace. CT, every